jana vallabha girivaradhari. Gopi jana vallabha girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashoda. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari. Jaya Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari. Jaya Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashoda. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radha. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Bol. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Govinda Jai Jai, Gopala Jai Jai, Radha Rama Hari Govinda Jai Jai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai 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 Gauranga. Jai Sachinandana, Jai Sachinandana, Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hare, Patita Pavana Gaura Hare, Nitai Gaura Haribal, 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 Haribal. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahams Parivajagacharya Ashtottar Satasi Srimad His Divine Grace Abhay Charanara Vinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की, नाम आचार्य शिल हरिदास ठाकुर की, शिल प्रभुपाद की, शिल प्रभुपाद अनुगा की, समवेत भक्त वृंद की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे. All glories assembled devotees, all glories assembled devotees, all glories assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3. Bringing it. I actually don't know which chapter, but reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 20, Text 28. So avadharyasya karpanyam viviktadhyatmadarshanaha vimunchatmatanum ghoram iti yukto vimomochaha. Please chant. Is it on the screen? Chapter 20, Text 28. So avadharyasya karpanyam viviktadhyatmadarshanaha vimunchatmattanumughoram iti yukto vimumochaha. So avadharyasya karpanyam viviktadhyatmadarshanaha vimunchatmattanumughoram iti ukto vimumochaha. So avadharyasya karpanyam viviktadhyatmadarshanaha vimunchatmattanumughoram iti ukto vimumochaha.
So
Ladies. Saha, the Supreme Lord, Hare, Avadharya, perceiving, Asya, of Lord Brahma, Karpanyam, the distress, Vivikta, without a doubt, Adhyatma, minds of others, Darshanaha, one who can see, Vimuncha, cast off, Atmattanum, your body, Ghoram, impure, Iti Uktaha, thus commanded, Vimumochaha, Lord Brahma threw it off. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Translation: the Lord, who can distinctly see the minds of others, perceived Brahma's distress and said to him, "Cast off this impure body of yours." Thus commanded by the Lord, Brahma cast off his body. Please repeat. The Lord, who can distinctly see the minds of others, perceived Brahma's distress and said to him, "Cast off this impure body of yours." Thus commanded by the Lord, Brahma cast off his body. Hare Bol. That's not part of the translation. Purport: the Lord is described here by the word Vivikta Dhyatma Darshanaha. If anyone can completely perceive another's distress without doubt, it is the Lord Himself. If someone is in distress and wants to get relief from his friend, sometimes it so happens that his friend does not appreciate the volume of distress he is suffering. But for the Supreme Lord, it is not difficult. The Supreme Lord, as Paramatma, is sitting within the heart of every living entity, and He directly perceives the exact causes of distress. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says, Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishtaha. I am sitting in everyone's heart, and because of me, one's remembrance and forgetfulness occur. Thus, whenever one fully surrenders unto the Supreme Lord, one finds that He is sitting within one's heart. He can give us direction how to get out of dangers or how to approach Him in devotional service. The Lord, however, asked Brahma to give up his present body because it had created the demoniac principle. According to Sridhara Swami, Brahma's constant dropping of his body does not refer to his actually giving up his body. Rather, he suggests that Brahma gave up a particular mentality. Mind is a subtle body of the living entity. We may sometimes be absorbed in some thought which is sinful. But if we give up the sinful thought, it may be said that we give up the body. Brahma's mind was not in correct order. When he created the demons, it must have been full of passion because the entire creation was passionate. Therefore, such passionate sons were born. It follows that any father and mother should also be careful while begetting children. The mental condition of a child depends upon the mental status of his parents at the time he is conceived. According to the Vedic system, therefore, the Garbhadhana Samskara, or the ceremony of giving birth to a child is observed. Before begetting a child, one has to sanctify his perplexed mind. When the parents engage their minds in the lotus feet of the Lord, and in such a state the child is born, naturally good devotee children come. When the society is full of such good population, there is no trouble from demoniac mentalities. Om Tat Sat Om Ajnanatirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitamutam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sagitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padhan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We're reading the conversation between Maitreya and Vidura, and creation is being described, and Brahma is creating a very, very massive responsibility. He is doing the secondary creation. Atra sarga visargascha sthanam poshanam utayah. Sarga and visarga. Krishna did the sarga as Mahavishnu onwards. Garbhodakashai Vishnu, Kshirodakshai Vishnu, like that. And then Brahma, who is born Swayambhu from the navel of Vishnu, he is now creating, means creating the bodies of all the living entities and giving them all the facility, everything for them to enjoy material life. Because they want to be forgetful of Krishna, they want to be independent. So because of this, material creation occurs. And that job of material creation is being entrusted to Brahma. Creation means passion. Creation is done under Rajoguna. Brahma is also Rajoguna avatar of the Lord. Maintenance means goodness. Destruction means tamas, tamoguna. So Lord Shiva is a tamoguna avatar. He is involved in pralaya, destruction. He does the tandava and then he destroys. Brahma is in creation, passion, and he is creating. So it is mentioned previously that he created the demons from his backside. After he created Brahmano asya mukhamasit bahu rajanya kritah uru tadasya vaishyah padvagam shudro ajayata chandrama manaso jatah chakshur suryo ajayata. Like that, you will see in the Purusha Sukta it is mentioned Brahmano asya mukhamasit. From the face the Lord created the Brahmanas. From his face it comes. Bahu rajanya kritah. From the hands come the Kshatriyas. Like that it is described. So Brahma is in charge of this creation. He is creating. Then it described that from his backside he creates all the lesser more demoniac species. Why is he creating demon species? Somebody will ask, Summa irudhikalame? Adu pannama irudhikalame? No, but there are living entities, souls who have that type of desire. So for them he is giving the bodies, meant for them to satisfy themselves that way. So he is creating from his backside, from his buttocks, it's mentioned he created the demons. And what did the demons do? They ran behind him immediately and said, we want to have sexual intercourse with you. This is why they are demons. Most people get surprised when they hear this. And then he ran. My gosh, these people are after me. It's not that because he created the bodies for them that he could control them. Shut up. He could not do anything. Because their intentions. So he ran to Vishnu and told, this something wrong with the whole formula. Something happened. These people are behind me. Then his Lord is telling him in the shloka, the Lord who can distinctly see the minds of others perceived Brahma's distress is doing seva for the Lord, creation, very dangerous seva. He has to associate with Rajoguna, associate with Maya, associate with matter and create. So he was doing this. So the Lord understood, he is doing seva for me, thankless job, and he's got stuck in some problem. So he says, quickly give off that body. And Brahma cast off his body. It's impure. Cast off his body, took a new body. And then again went ahead with creation. And Prabhupada is saying, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maiki. Prabhupada is saying here in the purport that it is true that Brahma must have got contaminated by Rajoguna because he was doing that type of seva. And sometimes it happens. But the good thing that Brahma did was to run to Krishna and say something happened wrong. Mistake. And he is being told, give up the body. And here it's mentioned, give up the mentality. You have developed this mentality because of association with the modes. Karanam guna sangasya sadasad yoni janmashu. It's mentioned, Karanam guna sangasya. The reason is guna sanga, associating with the modes of material nature will create that type of feeling, that type of attitude, that type of thinking, intention. Karanam guna sangasya. So even Brahma can get associated with Rajoguna and get contaminated. Can you just imagine? What about all of us? What about all of us? We can boldly go and associate with the modes. When you know that something is of a lower mode, when we dive into it, definitely we'll get affected. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. Right? Something is we voluntarily go and associate. Sometimes out of duty, like Brahma is doing, you have to do, and you are very careful. Sometimes it's the modes that get you. All these things happen. All these different things happen. At least by your own volition, you should not associate with the modes. At least you should be able to seek goodness association like that. So it is not that Brahma did something wrong. He actually was doing that type of a seva and he got affected. But the good thing is, you're doing the seva and you got affected. Never mind. Krishna knows. That's the point here. It's saying here that Vivikta Dhyatma Darshana, that Krishna knew that Brahma is actually not made a mistake. He was associating with the modes for creation and it flipped off a little bit. It's not intentionally that he has done. So he gives him advice how to get over it. Gives him advice how to get over it. In the process of our devotional service, if you get afflicted, in the process of your devotional service, we go to meet all sorts of people sometimes. You go to meet very heavy materialistic people. You go to meet sometimes people who are very demoniac. You go to meet all politicians and you name it, all sorts of people we go to meet. When we go to meet these types of people, we get exposed to the modes ruling them. You may try to preach to them, but they don't care about your preaching. They will make you hear what they want to say. And if you're in a position where you can't oppose and you're forced to hear, there's a good chance that you'll get afflicted. It's a good chance you get afflicted by the modes. And then you'll come back and think, whether am I doing right? What I'm doing, is it correct? I remember in those early days, I gave up my job, and very good job and everything as a design engineer thing, and I came here to preach. We were staying in a small room in Raja Street above Ambika Aplam Depot. I don't want to describe that. It's very horrible. There no place for taking bath, this and all that. And from there I used to bring a donated scooter. Somebody donated scooter. If you keep the handle at 15 degrees off only, it will go straight. 15 degrees, I remember that even. The fork, something wrong. So we go like that. I went to a very big man's house. Previous day I went to his house. Like that. Then going there, yes, what do you want? Appointment given. So I'm going on a working day in the morning. He says, thank you Swamiji, very nice and all that. And then he was asking me, what are you doing? You look like a person who is capable of doing things. Why are you doing Swamiji work? Is what he wanted to ask. So he had a brahmachari dress. So then I told him that, I am serving the Lord. I take Bhagavad Gita courses for children. I do this and all. That's very nice. What were you doing before? He asked me. Then I said I was a design engineer. He suddenly began, where did you study? And all that. He asked me all the details. I studied in IT. What a waste! He started shouting at me. My gosh. He started shouting, what a big waste, a national waste. His mind completely changed. The government has spent so much money on you and making you engineer and you're wasting it like this. Suddenly he started shouting at me. Then in the end he said, get out of here. He said, get out of here. I said, what is wrong with this? But when he was so heavy, he shouted so much at me. I came in a very great devotional mood. In the morning I chanted my japa, I did seva for the Lord, I worshipped the Lord, I ate little prasadam, we did Kirtan, Prabhupada, puja, everything, and I'm coming with one sweep. He said, you don't know what you're doing, there's nobody advising you properly, you're a fool, you're and all that. When I came out, I was thinking, my gosh. I was really thinking, this is, for once, has influenced me so much. I was really thinking, did I make a mistake? Because I'm roaming around New Year. For food, I have to go and beg, I have to do this and all that. He said that, why are you leading like this? It made me really. So sometimes when you associate with these people, the goal of your life, the influence that you have had in Krishna consciousness, especially when you're tender and new and you go out to meet, you will get a real impact. How strong is Maya? How strong is the material force? How strong is the moods? I immediately went back and chanted japa and read Prabhupada's book. In half an hour's time I became perfectly alright. That fellow does not know what he's doing. He's simply hanging around making some money. I am doing a very important thing. I am carrying out the mission of Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. I am distributing books. I reinforced myself. Reinforce yourself. You can very easily go off. One instance, many such instances. So here Brahma also, I am saying about a very small, insignificant living entity like me. Even for Brahma, mapping it up, extrapolating it, in a bigger situation, even he can get influenced by the modes. Na anya gune kartaram, na anya gunebhya kartaram. Krishna says, there is nothing in this world happening apart from the modes. And if you can understand me and the modes happening only, then you'll become free. You'll get to my nature. In the 14th chapter, Krishna is telling this. Na anya gunebhya kartaram. If you see that in this world there's nothing else working but the modes, and you're able to understand me who is above the modes, then you will become transcendental. It's so difficult to do that. Even Brahma gets influenced. So you can imagine. But the good thing that Brahma does is, my devotional service is affected, immediately he goes to the Lord and says this is what has happened. And he takes recourse, he takes shelter of the Lord. When such things happen, a devotee should immediately take shelter of another devotee who can counsel you. You can chant, you can do Kirtan, you can read Prabhupada's books, you can come in front of the deity and repair it. This is the meaning of us. People like us, sadhakas, we need that constantly. It's happening to Brahma. Of course, Brahma, it's happening on a very big scale, very huge scale, completely different. And in that scale also, Brahma is afraid. But Prabhupada told us that if you continue to chant Hare Krishna, if you rely on the holy name, if you take shelter of the holy name, he used this word, taking shelter of the holy name. It's important to say chanting the holy name is one thing, taking shelter of the holy name is another thing. Matprana natastu saevana paraha. I know nothing else but Krishna. I know nothing else but the holy name, and the holy name is everything for me, taking complete shelter of the holy name. That's required. Sometimes people, in the Mary Allah, I'll get all difficulties. Let me be safely practicing spiritual life. What if Brahma had thought, my gosh, this creation is pretty problematic. Let's go sit down in the lotus, coming from the golden lotus, sit down and meditate like before. Why do all these things? But there is a necessity. And through you only Krishna can do it. So Brahma is continuing to do it, and Krishna is helping him to do it. So Prabhupada mentioned that in the process of your devotional service, you should not think that when I'm doing devotional service, this is happening. How can it happen? It's happening to Brahma also. Why will not happen to you? You are doing devotional service where? In Vaikuntha. You are doing devotional service where? In the material world, filled with all sorts of people. And Prabhupada said they'll get envious, they'll attack you. Prabhupada gave the example of Jesus Christ, of Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu got a stone thrown at him by Jagai and Madai. It hit his forehead and blood started coming. Jesus Christ, the same people, the same community he was preaching to, the Jews community, the head of the Jews community, they go out and tell him, kill him. We want him killed. And they got him crucified. He is from the Jewish community. He is preaching to the Jews. And the Jews killed him. Today if you say this, it will become a political statement. Oh, what you said. But I am saying it for a different reason. How Maya operates, the people whom you are working with are the people who will actually harm you. How it will be. So Prabhupada said that for a preacher in this world, you can expect the worst thing to happen. In one lecture he says, you can even be killed. But a devotee of the Lord is happy to sacrifice his life in the preaching mission of the Lord. Luckily, nothing like that is happening to us. We are very simply distributing books. If somebody does not like it, we quickly come back and we chant Hare Krishna and we don't go out for the next 4 days. Then afterwards we quietly creep outside and say, I'm so afraid of going out. And somebody comes with you, helps you, and then you start little preaching again. We are not doing that level. But these are great type. Nityananda Prabhu was hit. Blood came. But in spite of the blood coming, he was telling them, please chant Hare Krishna. That is how their mind changed. That mind change, Jagai and Madai's mind changed when they saw that after he is hit, blood is flowing. He's still telling us to chant Hare Krishna. This is not an ordinary person. Wait. Don't do anything to him. Then of course Lord Chaitanya came and they got special mercy and everything. But in the process of devotional service in this world, everybody faces challenges of all sorts. We must not give up the devotional service. It's mentioned that make the necessary arrangements, get back to the field and again preach. This is what he is told. Brahma is told, cast off the body, get back, go and do your seva. And he is doing his seva, continuing to create and do the necessary things. Interesting thing here, another thing is, Prabhupada is speaking about the demons, because they have approached Brahma with a dangerous proposal, which is completely off. Prabhupada is saying here, this is the meaning of demoniac mentality. And he's saying that they are all conceived at the wrong time, in the wrong consciousness. And how to get a child of high consciousness is in the hands of the parents. Conception happening in Krishna consciousness will produce somebody who is also in Krishna consciousness. In other words, you can manufacture devotees. You can actually produce devotees if you are devotional. That's the real challenge. If you are devotional. In other words, demons, they are all conceived in horrible situations. That's why today there is a lot of discussion on all these matters and people don't know the main core discussion. The Supreme Court had a ruling on same-sex marriage. I think you know about it. Many of us know about it. It's very popular. There are some people who want to get married who are having same gender affair, boy to boy, girl to girl, and they have appealed that we should be married. And of course there are lots of discussions on all sides about everything. Few people mention some nice things. But the Supreme Court actually ruled we don't want to agree to this about same-sex marriages. This is something not for the judiciary to speak about. If the legislature wants to, the government can say something about it. As far as we are concerned, this is not correct. This is not correct. And people were waiting to get information on this. You can see how Kali Yuga is. Get information on this thing on this. So I came to say this because when you don't have a proper understanding of what marriage is, putrartet kriyet bharya putra pinda prayojanam. Prabhupada explained from the Shastra, for the sake of getting a son, I am accepting a wife. And why is a son required? Putra pinda prayojanam. The putra should be able to do my antishti kriya when I die. For that I need a son. For that I should accept a wife. In this way all my duties, karmas that I should do as a human being gets done. Because my main business in life is to improve myself spiritually. And the sub responsibilities I have, that also has to be executed. In this way there is a reason for getting married. The reason for getting married is to produce children. The reason for getting married is not to have sense gratification. In human society, it's decided. This is what human beings are meant for. But amongst the animals, it could be something else. But even the animals have mating season and they have a time when these things happen to them. So, understanding these higher values in human life and then executing those according to those values, according to the rules and regulations mentioned, that constitutes human civilization. Then you can say you're a human being. If you're not up to that level of control, of duty, of dharmic status, then you are not really a human being. So when people are below level and they execute these things, then these type of offspring come. These type of children will be generated. Children who have no proper consciousness. Children who are disturbed highly under the modes. All sorts of things happen. It's because you don't know the signs of conception. How to do it? The produce of a good child is in my hands. If I execute my duty properly, I can produce an amazing child, if necessary. That's why you'll see in the Bhagavatam, the lives of great grihasthas is mentioned. So all this is a big science. It's not simply lived like that. It's a big science. So Prabhupada is speaking about that science. How to produce good population. How to produce good population. At one point of time, Hitler thought that there is very bad population and certain types of people don't listen and they should be exterminated and we should produce new population. And he spoke according to race, certain races should be destroyed. So he went on killing Jews, wiping them out completely. Then we should produce, according to them, whoever listens to me is good population. Nice fellow, listening to me, very good, very obedient. He becomes nice population. Just a viewpoint, his viewpoint. Good population means those people who are listening to what the government says, what I say, and helping us to progress materially. Bad population means those who don't listen to you, have another viewpoint. No. Good population really means those who listen to and abide by the words of God, of Krishna's instructions in Bhagavad Gita, in the Bhagavad what is mentioned, that automatically becomes good population. If a person is cultured, if he is brought up nicely, if he is counseled, parented nicely, then you will see that he will grow up to be a nice gentleman. And similarly he will do that also to his children. In this way, generation after generation will be filled with nice progeny, nice population. Right? So, to create good population, that's why the Prajapatis are there. Their duty was to create this good population and fill the world. And so they were also doing it. Of course, there are living entities with different types of desires, and accordingly they were also being accommodated. But here there is also a science that all sorts of living entities are there, but if you keep your consciousness very paka, then only that type of living entity can enter, fit for that consciousness. Karmana daivanetrena jantur deho upapattaye striya pravishta udharam pumshareta kanashraya. Very nicely explained in the Bhagavad. How to produce a good child. You don't have to do genetic engineering. You don't to be submitted by the parent, asking the child, and then if necessary his gender can be changed. 4 years, 5 years. Now is the time to decide. Afterwards it's very difficult. What does the child know? The child is asked, will you continue to be male, continue to be female? Nothing he knows. And there is all sorts of things you can do genetically. You can change the color of the eyeballs. You can do that, you can do this, you can do very dangerous experiments. This is not the science. Originally, right from inside you can change the consciousness. Then you don't have to bother about all these superficial external things. What really needs to be changed is the consciousness. And the way to change the consciousness is you be Krishna conscious. If you are Krishna consciousness, dharma viruddha bhuteshu kamo asmi bharatarshava, Krishna is telling, sex life in keeping with proper dharmic principles is me itself. It represents me. Dharma aviruddha bhuteshu kamo asmi bharatarshava. So this is a great science. you can produce children who will be wonderful and populate this world. I think the Krishna consciousness movement in the future will do this. And that's how the golden age will happen. And there will be people filled, many of them will be devotees. This is a science of producing good population. So by being a devotee, by chanting Hare Krishna, by keeping a clear consciousness, if our grahasthas produce children, then they will also be wonderful. They will also be devotees. I don't know, people told me that Prabhupada said, sixth generation of devotees from here will all be Mahatmas. Gradually, as the devotees expand, they go through all sorts of things and gradually get purified more and more. So many generations will go on, and then amongst the devotees, because if the devotee has to be born in this world, he will be born in the Hare Krishna movement only, it looks like. And so more and more devotees will be reborn, and they're born. Already I have heard 2-3 cases of devotees who were there previously and have been reborn. They remember their past also. And there's real life cases. I am presuming that it will be like that. The devotees will like to be born with devotees only, because they are already worshipping Krishna, chanting Hare Krishna. I've eaten so much prasadam. Every cell in my body is made out of prasadam. How I cannot be born again in a devotee's place? Definitely. So in this way, the devotee population will increase. Devotee population will increase. There are some religions who think that the best way to convert people is to have lot of children. Instead of going around converting people, produce lot of children, they'll all be in your same religion. In this way, they are thinking, is another type of thinking. But the real, actual thinking, properly understood, that is mentioned here by Prabhupada. Garbhadhana samskara is done, and the couple are very serious about producing a child who will be Krishna conscious. It's a serious business. It is not something to do when you are drunk and you come from some party and then you engage in some intercourse with your wife, and then then that sort of a demoniac drunken fellow will be born. He will also be, as soon as he gets up, as soon as he is born, you'll have to give a feeding bottle of some alcohol only to him. He'll be asking for it. He will put out his tongue and ask for it. Because that's the consciousness he'll be born. That's the consciousness he'll be born in. But even if you have people like that, the chanting of the holy name purifies them. That's the amazing thing about Krishna consciousness. Even amongst those who are already born, they can be changed. That is mentioned here. Yavana Kashadaya, Abhir Sumba, Yavana Kashadaya, Pulinda Pulakasha, Yabhir Sumba, Yavana Kashadaya, Ye Anye Chapapa Vyapashayashaya, Sudhyanti Tasmai Prabhavishnave Namaha. For the lowest class of people, even if they are demoniac, if they chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, their consciousness will change. They will become devotees and they will become wonderful personalities. So this is the Krishna consciousness movement started by Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and it is not simply a casual thing. It has got a very deep scientific understanding, and we are practicing that scientifically, and it will have effect on all of us. And we should spread this message. We should practice it nicely. We should spread this message, and we should learn to depend on Krishna under any situation and circumstances. And there is nothing but success for the devotee. Kaunteya pratijanahi nami bhakta pranashati. Krishna has guaranteed it. Krishna has guaranteed it. My devotee will never be a failure. He may go up and down a little bit, but in the end he will actually be successful. Brahma went through a difficult time, and Krishna told him how to continue and be successful in a devotional service. He executed that. So sometimes we have challenges in our devotional service. Badhyamano abhimad bhaktaha vishayan ajitendriyaha pragus pragalbaya bhaktya vishayan nabhibhuyate. Krishna is telling, sometimes my devotee, it seems that in the course of his activities, he looks like vishayan ajitendriyaha. Ajitendriyaha. In the world of Vishaya, material objects, it looks like he has lost. Ajita means not a jita, not one who is successful, who has lost in the battle of the senses and the sense objects. Pragus pragalbaya bhaktya Vishaya nabhibhuyate. But I will not allow the Vishaya to take over my bhakta. I will do the needful to make sure he becomes successful. Krishna is telling this. Whenever it seems that my devotee is failing and losing, that's okay. I will set it right for him because he is my devotee. Because he is my devotee, bhakta. If he is a jnani, if he is a yogi, if he is a karmi, the same guarantee is not there. But because he is my bhakta, if he looks like he's going up and down a little bit, I will hold him up. I will make sure that he is successful. So we can see here how Krishna is protecting Brahma. And he is saying, don't worry, do this and get back and continue your devotional service. Right? So we can also understand that taking shelter of Krishna means Krishna will also protect us. Unless we have actually given up the shelter of Krishna, we have taken the shelter of Maya, then it becomes even difficult for Krishna to do it. Because you have decided. If you have decided like that, of course Krishna will patiently wait and catch you at the right time, sometime. But then if you make it difficult and decide like the demons, I don't need you, I don't like you, I don't want you, get lost. Krishna will send somebody like Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada and he will convert all the demonic people also by his influence, by his power, by his association, like Prabhupada has actually done. Om Tat Sat. Srila Prabhupada ki, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Nittai Guru Premanande. Any question or comment? Do exactly what Brahma did. You don't have to invent anything new. You have to immediately pray to Krishna, take association and chant the holy name. So what we learn is this is something that can happen. It is not that because you are a devotee with Kantimala and Tilak, you can walk into the most dangerous area. Krishna will protect me like that. It's not like that. You have to be careful. You have to avoid certain things. You have to take precaution. And you have to be carefully executing, vigilant you should be. You should take responsibility for execution of devotional service properly. So we can always remain safe. You can remain safe unless you are in a position where you are like that. You are in the workplace and you need the job and you are in a dangerous situation. Then you should even consider changing that job into some other job for the sake of your preserving your Krishna consciousness. And Krishna will grant that too. It's a lot dependent on your real intention and your firm desire to be Krishna conscious. Yes, any other question or comment? Om Tat Sat. Srila Prabhupada ki.